Your San Jose Sharks gave it a good run, but they end up on the losing end 3-1 to the Toronto Maple Leafs. We'll break down this loss. A streak gets extended, barely, and more right now. This is Teal Town After Dark. And with that, we say good evening to you. It is Wednesday night, November 30th, 2022. The Sharks lose 3-1 to the Toronto Maple Leafs. Leafs riding high after their frustrating October. The Sharks, well, they're being the Sharks. Unfortunately, gave it a good run, though. And we welcome you to this edition of Teal Town After Dark. This is your live interactive for Sharks post-game. We do this after every game, so if you want to be part of the show, here's how you do it. Chat with us and fellow hockey fans all over Sharks territory and around the world right here on the YouTube page and the app. And, of course, follow us on the social, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, SoundCloud, Reddit, Discord, TikTok, YouTube, and, of course, find everything at tealtownusa.com. And with that, I say good evening to you, Mr. Ian Reed.
Hello,
hello. Hello, that first period was boring. So, but we had a lot of back and forth helter-skelter in this one.
Yeah, I don't think the first period was boring. I just think nothing happened in it. I thought the game itself, it had a good flow. I don't know. I was entertained.
It was a very entertaining game, and I should strike myself. It wasn't a boring, just no chances, no power plays on there.
Not a lot to talk about, sure.
Yeah. And with that, good night, everyone. No, kidding. It was back and forth. I think we saw plenty of odd man chances throughout this one. More so, I think, more on the Sharks side to make this interesting. But I liked how this team came on. I thought, they had all the excuses in the world. Third game in 4 nights, travel cross-continent, playing back-to-back in Canada, in 2 big hockey-centric markets. I mean, they could have just folded and gone home and, so be it.
Yeah. I mean, and not only that, but Aaron Dell gets his first NHL start of the season. They had a lot of built-in excuses tonight. I agree.
Now, quiz for you. Not to put you on the spot. Do you remember Aaron Dell's last start for the Sharks?
No. No.
You and me and Shalana Goldman were doing the final After Dark of the 1920 season on March 11th, 2021 or 2020, right before, just as Rudy Gobert was testing positive
and touching everyone's phones and shit. I remember that.
Just one of those weird nights. One of those nights that I think we will never forget. But Aaron Dell, in this game, your third string goaltender going up against the Toronto Maple Leafs. It has all the things of absolute reckoning, and 29 saves on 31 shots. I mean, that's what can you say for a guy who's, once known as the world's okayest goalie? I mean, stick taps to him for coming in and filling in on short notice.
Yeah, this is why I wasn't really upset when Aaron Dell got signed by the Sharks in the summer. It confused me, sure, but it didn't upset me, and this is why, because Aaron Dell's a guy who can come in, he's not going to be the guy that you build your team around, right? He's not going to be your 1A goalie, but he's a guy who can go up and down. He can play and be a good mentor to Strauss-Mann and Eetu Makiniemi with the Barracuda, and he can come up into the NHL and give you decent starts. Again, you don't want to put everything you have on Aaron Dell, but he can come in a jam and give you decent goaltending. Like, he's been up and down. He's a good guy in the room. So I mean, like, this is exactly why they brought in Aaron Dell, because he's a guy who's easy to get along with. He's a good mentor for the young guys that are playing on the Barracuda, and he can come up to the NHL if someone gets hurt, like James Reimer is right now, and give you a decent, decent goaltending. And tonight he gave them better than decent goaltending, great goaltending.
Right. And he kept them in this game, especially when Toronto was really coming on in the third period. Again, stick taps to Aaron Dell on this night. In fact, we're getting some comments in here right now. AJ, thank you, buddy. From Aaron Dell, I was happy with my game. I was just trying to hang on, and sometimes it just doesn't go your way. We played a good game, built off of last night, and it's another step in the right direction. And again, yeah, they didn't get the result, Ian.
No.
But not to steal from Aaron Dell's comment, but I mean, it seems like they're slowly getting it. They're slowly going the right way.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing that I will say for this year's team, as compared to last year's team, is that, this year's team's way more fun to watch. And if everyone's like, oh, what's the difference between this and Bob Bugner? Like, Bob Bugner's teams are not fun to watch. So David Quinn, to his credit, I think has made this team a more enjoyable team to watch. Now, is that translating to more wins? No, it certainly isn't. But yeah, I mean, like, it was a good game for they played more entertaining hockey.
Yeah, and despite the scoreless first period, each team would get a goal in the middle frame. Sam Ramone native Austin Matthews with a nice tip in from Hollowell to make it 1-0 Toronto. And about 3 minutes later, Matt Nieto,
offensive dynamo.
What? I guess we've been wrong. So we put him on a top 6 roll, and good things will happen. He finds the back of the net. I think it's like his 5th goal in the last 9 games.
I think he had 6 goals all last year, and now he has
6 goals,
6 this season. So I mean, that's good for Matt Nieto.
Keep building that trade value.
Yeah, exactly. Like, he's definitely a guy who, because he's at the end of his contract here, that someone might pick him up at the deadline. I'm not sure though.
Yeah, I mean, it might be a quality move down the road. We've heard all about the freaking trade rumors and such surrounding this team, and we all know how no offense to you, Ian, because you don't work for TSN or Sportsnet, but how they get all frothy when there are bad teams that have good players, and they're like, oh, I think he's on our trade bait board. Erik Karlsson for sure. Oh, Timo Meier's an RFA. Oh, for sure But you look at some of these guys like Matt Nieto, who's coming on, could be, yeah, you're not going to get maybe the first round pick you got for Barclay Goodrow, but it's an asset that, that can be had down the road. And being in a big hockey market like Toronto and Montreal last night, kind of boost your viewing come March.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens.
And there's a lot of hockey left too,
if he keeps
for sure.
playing, and there is a lot of hockey. Like, Matt Nieto could completely, could finish his season scoring tonight and not get another goal until well into the trade deadline, and then it's not even a talking point anymore. Right. But, I mean, if you take people away from Nick Bonino, good things happen.
Okay. Wow. Okay. So they traded goals in the second period that the tie it up at 1. A little bit of parade into the penalty box. Cishek and Cunnin get called off for hooking and tripping. But the Sharks,
Nick Cunnin should be sent to the Barracuda because he would fit right in down there with just like the dumb penalties.
Yeah.
If the one thing, the Barracuda have done a lot of good things too, but I think one of the things they've done a lot is just take really dumb penalties, and Nick Cunningham would fit right in down there right now.
Yeah, and the thing is that it's like Cunningham has been such the spark here and there, but then you have nights like this where it's just like, come on,
Mm-hmm.
and it's frustrating. On the other hand, while Cicek took another penalty tonight, he got on the score sheet with the assist on the Nieto goal. You know, 3 assists in his last 4 games. I mean, and I don't think there's been too much to complain about from his game since he was called up.
Cicek?
Cicek, yeah.
Cicek's done fine. No, Cicek's done fine. I think he's been okay. Like, I don't think he's been like a world beater. But I think he's done everything that they've asked of him. And I think for a guy who, 2 years ago, I think was playing his overage year in junior without a contract, and then had an AHL deal only last year. I mean, it's a hell of a story for Nick Cicek. Like, I don't. And maybe the story is just what people like, right? Because I don't like Sharks Twitter loves Nick Cicek, and I don't know why. But maybe it's just a story, and maybe I'm just dumb. But like, I think he's been fine. I haven't really had any issues with him. I don't know. Like, it's unfortunate. I think that Ryan Merkley got off to the poor start that he did, because I think, like, with the way his game's come on lately, I think he could probably get a call up at some point soon. But with the way Nick Cicek's been just being, like, I think Ryan Merkley is obviously going to give you different things, but with Cicek, how well I think he's played, like, I don't think he's been a disaster by any stretch. I think, given what you would expect from him, I think it's fine. So I think he's probably there until someone gets healthy, and then he gets sent back down. But yeah, it's unfortunate, like, because of the way Ryan Merkley's played of late, I think he would probably get a better look had Cicek not done as well as he has on the main roster.
Yeah. But good for Cicek to take advantage of the opportunity, indeed. To put it in there, to be in there. Again, his 3 assists in his last 4 games. A little bit of a parade to the penalty box, but you take what you get, filling in for Mario Ferraro. Of course, in the third period, it was going back and forth. Dell kept him in early on. A penalty late to for tripping at 14:44, and then just a minute afterwards, Pierre Engvall with the game winner. Is it all on Hurdle? I almost want to blame a little bit of Matt Benning on that one too.
Yeah. So if you want to, like, put the goat ears on someone for that goal, first is Tomas Hertl for sure, and I think he took responsibility for it in his post-game comments. Yep. Then next, Matt Benning probably, because I think it was a good shot, and, like, okay, you'd like that rebound maybe not to go out to where it went, but after the way Aaron Dell has played, like, I have a hard time being like, oh, well, that's Aaron Dell's fault. No, Matt Benning should have Engvall tied up, or at least have some idea of where the puck is. And then obviously Aaron Dell's not the best rebound to kick out, but sometimes, like, you just like, you want to have perfect rebound control, but that's not any goalie. So my shit list for that goal is Hertl, Benning, then Dell, I guess, because I said 3.
Yeah, it's a tough one, and like you mentioned, Hurdle post game, it's all on me. I cost us 2 points because I made a stupid play.
Yeah, sure did.
Yeah, and that's a tough one to take, unfortunately. And then, of course, Mitch Marner. Normally we don't mention any empty netters, but Mitch Marner does get the empty netter to extend his point streak to a Leafs tying 18 games. It's crazy, to have 18 games. But then again, what was it? Gretzky's was like 56 or something. So good on that. Let's see here. Looking into the chat here, um, Bennington box out Engvall.
That's right. Yeah.
Rick.
Bingo.
What else do we got here from Matt Nieto? When we're doing it right, we're really a tough PK to get chances against. We know we have a job to do, and we'll do anything to get it done. And they have played well PK wise. 0 for 3.
Oh yeah,
for
PK's been. If you take nothing else positive from the season, the PK's been the positive.
Yeah,
for sure.
I want to mention Corey Masisak from The Athletic. I think said over the last 10 games, the Sharks have played nearly a full 60 minutes shorthanded. Kind of interesting that the Sharks don't get a power play in this one. I want to say that's at least the third time that they've dealt with that this season.
I didn't really see anything though that where I was like, "Wow, where's the penalty?" Like I didn't. It's if you didn't mention that, like it wouldn't have even dawned on me because there wasn't any point in the game where I felt like, where's the call there? Like I just didn't have that tonight. So
no,
I mean, some people will say that, that the penalties were offside and it wasn't fair, but I didn't really see anything that where I was like, hey, where's the call?
Yeah, nothing that was egregious on there. To be quite honest, there wasn't anything that like, oh my god, they tripped up Timo. Nothing like that, in my mind. But Sharks lose 3-1 in a game where it's painful because you lose it with 2.5 minutes to go. But Toronto should have played a better game in my mind. I thought they did. I thought they were okay. They gave some good chances, but fortunately for the Sharks, Dell was equal to the task.
Yeah, Dell was really good tonight. I don't know who got the 3 stars, but Aaron Dell got one if I had anything to say about it.
I would hope he did. Let me see if it's on here. No, it was Matthews number 3, Samsonov number 2, and Marner number 1. So congratulations on scoring an empty netter, and you get the number 1 star of the
Well, he did tie a record with that empty netter. It's like I get it. He did tie a record with that empty netter. I think he tied Daryl Sittler and I can't remember who else.
Eddie Olczyk.
Within 18. Yeah, Eddie Olczyk. Thank you. Within 18 game point streak. So I mean that's special. I get
right.
I understand why you would give him a star in that situation, especially in Toronto. That's fine. I'm over it.
Yeah. I'm hoping I'm saying this Nuccier. Let's talk about that first empty netter goal Marner missed. He missed one, yes, but he got it back. So, there it is. Ricky Barton-Slager. And hey, Ricky, nice meeting you the other night at down at the tank. Once again, boys, say it with me. Winning is counterproductive. I mean, I would have been nice if the Sharks gotten a point out of this one. They're hanging in there, but
I don't care. I mean, yeah, points are nice, but it's also nice not getting points and still watch and having an entertaining game. Again, this is the ideal situation for me because if I watch a game, I want to be entertained. But if they don't win and I can still somehow walk away from that game entertained, I mean, the Sharks have won 8 games this year, and somehow I'm entertained. So
yeah,
that's a plus.
Yeah, and considering the Sharks' record is now 8-14-4.
8-14-4.
And we haven't gone off the deep end yet, and in this one for sure, so we'll see.
I got mad one game against Seattle.
Oh, that was 8-5. And speaking of Seattle, that game last night, something else about that one, and then it cost Cal Peterson his roster spot, unfortunately. But
yeah, wow, the rise and fall of Cal Peterson is quite the story.
Indeed. All right, we get comments from David Quinn, AJ, of course. Thank you very much. Obviously, it's a turnover we want back. Hurdle would like it back. but we didn't capitalize on 3 breakaways in the first. It's disappointing not to
True.
get a point tonight. Yeah, I mean, what was it? Gregor, Shimmick. I'm blanking on the second one. I can't think of or sorry, not the second one, the third one. But yeah, you gotta take advantage of those opportunities big time there.
Mm-hmm.
Time on ice. I mean, Sveshnikov at 7 minutes. I mean, the same with Oscar Lindblom, just under 7 minutes. Obviously, I don't want to say they're the doghouse, but Sturm not
They're
Sturm
my
is,
doghouse.
yeah, Sturm's not ready yet. Gatvich
Right,
is sick,
that's fine.
so I mean, you kind of have them in there. And Carlson playing 25 minutes. Matt Benning 22-31. I mean, I'll give him stick taps to him for last night, but you got to stay
Matt Benning's
consistent.
terrible though. Like I don't. Again, I don't know what it is about Matt Benning that hockey men love so much. I just don't know.
Yeah. So, but we'll see. I mean, you have the safe bet now. You have the trust in Aaron Dell. So, get.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, look, they need James Reimer to get healthy quick. I think Aaron Dell again had a hell of a game tonight. I think he's well suited to the role that they've got him in right now as like this third string guy that can come in and kind of save their bacon. Kaapo Kähkönen obviously had a really good game last game, but that's one really good game out of how many starts has he had? So, I mean, this James Reimer, if you want this team to win, James Reimer can't get healthy soon enough.
Are you okay with starting Dell tonight as opposed to maybe going back to back with Kaapo after a shutout?
No, I'm fine. No, I'm totally fine with Aaron Dell getting a start. There's been people who have looked into it, and goalies playing both half of a back-to-back generally isn't good. Like, it's just statistically not great. And I wish I could point you at the people that have done the work on this. But no, I'm fine. Aaron Dell, I think Aaron Dell has played pretty well for the Barracuda. I think he's a guy who, again, he's a guy to get along with. And I think he earned the opportunity to come up and play. I mean, this is what he's here for.
Right.
This is why they brought Aaron Dell in.
To have some sort of NHL caliber, I'll use that term a little loosely, but somebody that they're familiar with that can stop pucks. And like you said before, be a mentor to the kids at the CUDA, but also when something like this happens, when one of the goaltenders is not available.
Yeah, Aaron Dell can come up and play. Yeah. I mean, we don't, the assumption is at some point James Reimer is going to get traded out of here. Someone's going to have to back up Kaapo Kähkönen. Yeah. Why not Aaron Dell? Aaron Dell's the perfect guy to do it. Like, Aaron Dell was great tonight. If you have beef with Aaron Dell after tonight, I don't know what to tell you.
You have a beef that goes a long way, and you are very, very rare about it. I don't know.
How does it feel to be wrong? I don't know.
I don't know. Anything else that's stuck out in your mind in this one? I think
no, not really.
Yeah, that's pretty much sums it up on this game. With the Sharks losing 3-1 to the Toronto Maple Leafs. I'll mention this. Okay, Ricky. When Greer got hired and said he was focused on gaining cap flexibility, I was hopeful. Then how he got that cap space is like, and then how he used the space, I was like, oh no, WTF.
I'm fine with what he did to get the cap space. Look, again, like, they had to move money off that blue line. They had one of the most, if not the most expensive blue line in the league, and it was dog shit. They had to make a move. I mean, I sat here many times last year saying how Brent Burns would be the guy to move because he's the guy on that blue line who is the more movable of the three.
Right.
And you would probably get more value for him. Now, you can argue about the value that they got for him, but I think that moving on from Brent Burns was the right move. But yeah, what did he do with all that cap space? A whole lot of fuck all. That I would agree with. But I don't have an issue with, like, again, like, this team wasn't going to be a playoff team, right? It's time to start moving these pieces. So it was time to start moving those pieces. And look at, by the time this team is good again, Brent Burns is going to be fucking retired. So move him.
Yeah, and get something. I mean, I think we were hoping for more value, of course, but
Sure.
but
Yeah, you're hoping for, well, you're hoping they would use the cap space that they gain better than just going to the guy factory and grabbing the first guys they found off the shelf.
yeah. Oh, looking at some of the comments in the chat. Thank you all for this from Metal Mario. Quinn has improved this team. They're battling hard. They need to finish now. So many turnovers by the Leafs, and the Sharks didn't capitalize. They played well. Simmer was great. Yeah, we'll say Redeem Shimmick was getting stick taps on the broadcast too.
Shimmick's been pretty good. I haven't really had much issue with Shimmick as much. Like, for a guy who this summer I was like, just send him to the, bury him or buy him out. No, I've been pretty happy with Redeem Shimmick this year.
Yeah. No, he's been solid returning, and I think that extra year, it's really made a difference on there for sure. For that. Well, the Barracuda and the Wild are playing again, so we have no score yet so far in that one. So there's your little update for the CUDA. We'll get on to that on the Teal Town USA Twitter for sure. But
I have a horse eye on it.
Yeah. I'll help you out if you need to, bud. But if you're just joining us, thanks for watching. We're at 41 people. Give us a thumbs up. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Of course, hit that notification bell. That'll let you know when we go on the air, following each and every Sharks game, home and away. Appreciate each and every one of you on this one. So they'll get 2 days off and go to Ottawa because, that's how they draw it up. I mean, why not?
Why not?
Totally.
Yeah, Ottawa's going to be an interesting game because Ottawa's obviously not had the season that they were hoping to have. So I'm curious to see how they play against the Senators, because I think the Senators are a team that that's a team you want the Sharks to drop a couple points to with the way they're languishing in the standings here. But yeah, I'm curious to see Ottawa, because I think Ottawa, again, I think they've had some serious injury issues this year. So I'm curious to actually get an eye on them and see what they do.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see, because Ottawa, when we saw them earlier in the month, they should be better than this. And in Ottawa, 8-13-1,
injuries though, like they've had some pretty significant injuries early on. So like their blue line was kind of dicey, and they had some guys that were injured off of it. And they're like, the injuries are like through the organization too, because I think like Belleville's also just having a hell of a time right now.
Yeah, 90 least of which, we mentioned injuries. Toronto's been having issues with their blue line, and somehow got that one. But yeah, Ottawa, they lost to the Rangers tonight in their reverse retros, which so it'll be interesting to see what the Sharks do in a couple of days. That game is Saturday afternoon over here on the West Coast, and then they'll have Buffalo on Sunday, so that'll be a Pucknologist takeover for that one. So yeah, Saturday, Sunday, you have your sights set on everything there for the Sharks as they continue this road trip. It'll be interesting to see how they get this things going. Definitely potentially winnable games between Ottawa and Buffalo. We'll see how it goes, though.
We never win in Buffalo. What are you talking about?
what is it, like 3 wins overall? It used to be over for a long time, and then the night that they got Joe Thornton was their first one. And speaking of which, you know, get the candle, everyone. 17 years ago today was when Joe Thornton was traded to the Sharks in the midst of a game in Dallas. Obviously, I would say the biggest and most successful trade in team history for sure.
Oh, it turned. Yeah, I mean, I've said this many times on this show and other mediums, but like Joe Thornton when Joe Thornton came to San Jose, it turned the Sharks from like a happy to be there, plucky, woohoo, we're in the second round playoff team to like a cup contender. And yeah, big, it was, it changed the franchise for sure.
For sure. Well, I think that brings us to a close. Any update on the CUDA right now?
It is 0-0. CUDA are leading in shots 3-2. E2 Makiniemi gets a start for San Jose, and I believe it's Jesper Wallstedt for the Wild.
Gotcha. Well, we'll keep you updated. If you want to follow that, check us out on the Twitter machine at Teal Town USA. But in case you missed anything and want to watch this again, check us out on tealtownusa.com or your favorite podcatcher, whether it's Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, YouTube, SoundCloud, Spotify, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, Odyssey, and of course on the YouTube, as we mentioned, hit that like button, subscribe, and bell for sure.
I have no updates on Nidavara. Sorry, nope.
We have not heard anything on Nidavara. We don't know if he exists at this. No, I'm kidding. Kidding on that. But we will be back with you on Saturday following Sharks and Sens for that one. Ian, your final thoughts?
Final thoughts. When the Sharks do good, it's good, even when they don't do good. Also, my face is still pretty swollen, so I apologize if I was hard to understand this show a little bit more than normal. I'm hoping this will get better quickly.
Honestly, and if you didn't tell me before we went on the air, I really wouldn't have noticed. But so, stay taps.
My favorite part is like when I'm like trying not to spit everywhere. That's my favorite part.
That's why you got the mic shield.
Yeah, it's true.
All right, for everyone here, thanks for watching. For Ian, I'm Eric. Again, Sharks lose 3-1 to the Maple Leafs. We'll be back on Saturday following Sharks and Sens. Until then, keep it real, keep it teal, keep it real teal. Hey, Steve, what do you think of Teal Town After Dark?
Teal Town After Dark. That sounds like hockey, but in underwear.